This week's episode of Here's What I Don't Get is brought to you by delicious hamburgers and cheeseburgers. Get yours all around the city of St. Louis this week for $8. Of course, by the time this episode comes out, you only have about 2 more days to do it, which is much like how I learned about Burger Week last year. So, yeah, have fun with that. Hello and welcome back to Here's What I Don't Get. From north to south, east to west, the only intercontinental podcast to tackle all of life's toughest issues and the longest consecutively running podcast on the See You Next Tuesday and Carl Podcast Network. I'm your host, Tab Burton, the most dangerous city in America and also the most delicious. And joining me from all the way, the home of the cheesesteak, it's Tony from Hack the Movies.
Hello, Tab. How are you?
I am doing great. I have had 7 hamburgers in the last 2 days. I am living my best life.
I need less hamburgers in my life. So, although I went to VHS Fest and it's in a drive-in on the mountain, you don't really want to leave because it's annoying. So I ate a bunch of hamburgers because that's like what they had at the food court area.
This week is Burger Week in St. Louis. It started on Monday. And so restaurants all around the city offer $8 specialty hamburgers that they don't do like the rest of the year. And you go and you try them and you check in with this app and you earn points. And if you get the most points, you're like the king of Burger Week. And if you get, there's a drawing going on. And so I jumped fully into Burger Week and I am in the top 1%.
Oh no!
Of burger people. I am the 1%er of burgers. I've had
I like that your phone is being chroma keyed.
That's funny. I have had I had 4 burgers yesterday and I had 3 today. I literally left one restaurant where I finished eating a burger, stopped at another restaurant and got another burger. I'm going to be extremely fat by the end of this week, but it'll be all worth it if I win that smokeless fire pit. The burgers are also fucking delicious. And I feel like this is a week that was made for me specifically.
Yeah.
Because so the burgers, you get points for burgers, but some of the places they have a Jameson special where they'll give you like a cheaper pour of Jameson. If you get Jameson and a burger, you get more points. And I was like, I take beef and Jameson and turn them into hate speech. So this is all that I can do. I'm loving it. I am loving it.
Well, I'm glad you're living your best life, Tab.
Yeah. I'm going to try and have 4 hamburgers tomorrow.
I got my Roman gladiator outfit spread out back there. I just shot a gladiator review tonight.
This is Sparta.
No, wrong movie.
No,
you'll be reminded of Gladiator when the sequel comes out. Gladiator, which is a real thing that's actually happening.
I know they had talked about that like when it first came out, and everyone was like, "This is an expressly stupid idea."
I don't know if that's the idea that they're doing, but Ridley Scott's back. They're making it.
Ridley Scott has really gone downhill, hasn't he?
He really has.
What a fucking embarrassment.
I was trying to think. I say in the episode, I was trying to think what was the last movie I liked by him? And I guess it was The Martian, but apparently he came in real late into that movie, right before cameras rolled, he became the director. So I don't feel like that one counts.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like a Ridley Scott movie. It's just a movie that Ridley Scott directed. Like the way Insomnia is not a Christopher Nolan movie. It's just a movie that Christopher Nolan directed.
Yeah, because it's like a remake of like a Polish film, I think.
Yeah, well, and it sucks.
I remember liking it.
It was his worst movie.
Yeah.
Up until Tenet came out, and then
Tenet.
Worst movie.
Yeah, Tenet was rough.
That was a piece of crap film.
I am excited for Barbenheimer though. I got the Barbenheimer shirts. I'm all ready.
I cannot wait to not see either one of those movies, and not like I'm not gonna go see them in theaters. I might not ever see either one of them ever.
Oh man. Well, I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah. I'll ignore that text message. Yeah. Anything else fun happening out with you? It's been a while since I've seen you.
It's been very busy. What you call it? I went to Florida. I had VHS Fest. I had too many games. Did a bunch of conventions. The shirt with my face on it is going to be in my store soon. It's back, Tab. Teespring didn't want people to have it, but I actually got them printed myself. So they are coming back. So you can buy that shirt.
You're being canceled. You're being canceled and filtered.
Oh, yeah, I got canceled the last time I made that shirt. Someone tried to cancel me.
Yeah.
But no, they are coming back. It's going to be fun. Other than that, it's been kind of chill over here. Just shooting a bunch of episodes, streaming some more, just relaxing.
Yeah, I can jive with that. Like I said, I've just been gorging myself on hamburgers. I talked about this on the minisode that I recorded with Buck, but this TV that I bought that has the white dots, somehow I jumped through enough hoops with the warranty process that I was fully refunded the purchase price of the television. So I got a free 75-inch screen TV in my house.
Oh, cool.
Amazing. I never thought that I'd be capable of doing anything with my life, but now that I have gotten a free big screen TV, I feel like I finally made it. Yeah.
You did it. There's nothing left to achieve. He wept for there were no more lands to conquer.
There were no more TVs to purchase. Anyway. Well, you want to jump straight into some issues?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's your first issue this week?
Here's what I don't get, Tab. Just not believing in movies based on a true story. Now, I don't know if you know this, Tab. There was this film that was released this year.
Okay.
Probably the most important film in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It brings awareness to a very important issue. And these people are trying to smear this movie that has such a good message, by the way. And I think it's an attack on people if people besmirch this film. And of course, the movie based off a true story that I'm talking about is Cocaine Bear. It's a true story. Did you know that movie was based off a true story?
I did know that because at the beginning it said based on a true story before the movie started.
Yeah, and that's how you know a movie is based on a true story.
100% factual.
Yeah, and there are people out there that are like, hey, this didn't happen. And every time I see them, I go, oh, so you're saying cocaine isn't real? And then they say, no, that's not what I'm saying. That would be stupid if I was saying that. They say, oh, I'm just saying that this didn't happen. And then I go, oh, so drugs aren't a problem? Oh, are you some kind of like drug dealer? And then they get like real defensive, Tab. I don't know what their deal is. Why don't they just believe this true story that has such a good message that bears shouldn't have cocaine? I don't get it, Tab.
They probably have ulterior motives, like wanting to put cocaine out there in bears because they're all cocaine bear apologists.
That's true.
They live in a secret cult of bears that try to secretly control the world through using cocaine and heighten their powers.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. I think the secret bear regime is trying to stop the danger. The movie is trying to expose a very real problem, okay?
Yeah.
And that's bears doing cocaine. And we just got to stop them. And I just don't like these online attacks on this movie based off a true story. Not even the only one. There's that movie that came out called Flaming Hot about the Flaming Hot Cheetos. And I'm like, wow, what a true story. Yeah. What a very serious film. It's got another great message that Mexicans can make Cheetos. And then people are again saying, oh, this isn't actually how this happens. And to them, I say, oh, what, Mexicans aren't real? And then they go, what the hell are you talking about? That's not what I said at all. And I go, oh, so you're saying Cheetos don't exist? And they go, no, I don't think you know how to argue your point. And then I just like curse them and I call their employer and I try to get them fired because they just don't trust true stories, Tab.
But Tony, do you not feel like there's a concerted effort from a lot of people in the media that maybe want to shit on these based on true things, probably due to ulterior motives that they hold that are not fully based on like the factual or even theatrical qualities of these films? They just want them shut down because they ideologically oppose that information being gotten out to the public.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And it's a problem. It's a problem because I think people need to see Flaming Hot and Cocaine Bear to really change their life. How could a movie based on a true story not change your life? Yeah, so yeah, that's my problem. These people just don't trust true stories. You have to trust. What's your favorite movie based on a true story?
My favorite movie based on a true story. Uh, that's a good question. Hmm.
Well,
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2, that was based
Yeah,
on a true
it was
story?
based on a true story. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Just the second one? The other ones aren't
The
based on.
first one is not based on a true story. The third one and those are not based on true stories.
Oh,
Terminator
okay.
2 is based on a true story.
Oh, well, you just said that, so I believe you. And if someone were to say it's not based off a true story, they're probably in big tech and they don't want you to
And they
be.
want those robots to take us over. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. My favorite true story that is definitely true is Bloodsport.
Mm.
And I've heard these assholes before being like, oh, Frank Dukes is a liar. And then I say, oh, so you're saying China doesn't exist and people don't fight there? And then they say, why do you have such strong opinions about Bloodsport?
You're saying that the Kumite isn't real?
Yeah, they're claiming that
the Kumite?
yeah, they're claiming all this stuff. Like, oh, that movie didn't happen, and I'm saying, oh, so you're saying like Forrest Whitaker isn't a real person? And then they go, what the hell are you talking about, Tony? That one didn't even make sense.
Forrest Whitaker isn't a real person. He's a CGI. That you can tell that he's like one of the original AI characters because his eyes aren't quite right, and it's also inexplicable that he's in so many films.
He's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Forrest Whitaker. Remember when Forrest Whitaker hosted the Twilight Zone reboot? In the
Yeah, that was
2000s?
weird.
That was a
weird period of time. Yeah,
time.
because it was even known for shit like that. Like, I guess he was in a couple sci-fi things, Species, Battlefield Earth. But other than that, I don't know why they would pick him to be in that movie. But yeah, it's if a movie says it's based on a true story and it's about something that's important to you personally, you must defend it to the death and scream at people online all day long over it, okay? Which is what I'm doing with Cocaine Bear. I will not rest until we get justice for the Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, I'm kind of really tired of all online discourse like being newsworthy. That's particular for it's something that shouldn't matter to anyone at any point in time in their lives, but then it builds this controversy, and they need controversy to sell tickets. That's why. So I talked about this movie Sound of Freedom, which I know is also under the fire right now for some of those.
I am unfamiliar with this movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
When I was talking about it with El Chaco, I said that I kind of wanted to go to a movie theater and just like buy a ticket because it makes the right people upset. That are people that I don't like, that don't like me, it makes them upset.
Yeah.
So I want to then kind of like throw $1 their way. But then it became this whole lightning rod of either you love Sound of Freedom and you watch Sound of Freedom because you hate pedophiles, or you are like an actual child trafficker. And I don't really like that kind of polarization on topics. And so it's like, well, now I just kind of don't want either side to win.
I'm sorry, Tab. I zoomed out. Well, you said you're a child trafficker. Is that what you just said?
I am a child trafficker. Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm gonna buy 10 tickets to Sound of Freedom right now, so I don't get dragged down with you, you monster.
To show you, yeah. No, you can't cancel me. I have 10 ticket stubs to Sound of Freedom.
That is the future currency. How many tickets do you have to Sound of Freedom?
I didn't watch it any of those times. I just bought the ticket stubs.
Oh,
and then
well,
I picked some up off the floor in the.
Well, look, I wish I could talk more about this movie, but I just don't know anything about it, Tab. I don't know anything about it, and I have no strong opinions on it yet.
People take this shit way too like personally. Like, remember when James Rolfe made that video where he's like, "I'm not gonna watch the new."
Yeah, I remember.
I'm not gonna watch the new Ghostbusters movie. That was like, I think that was the moment. That's like the nexus point of when all possibility for reasonable discourse disappeared from the internet.
Yeah,
because it felt like a pretty reasonable take. His fans were going to demand they do a thing. He needed to address it. He addressed it like he wasn't, pounding on the table like they
Mm.
ruined my beloved franchise. He was just like,
Yeah.
it's not really aimed at me as a viewer, so I'm not really interested in watching it, so I'm not going to watch it.
Mm.
And like that was the marketing, was that like, we didn't make this for you, fuck you. And then it's like, what do you mean you're not going to watch it? You have to watch it. You love Brand.
The funny
Don't
the
you
funny
love Brand?
The funny thing about that is knowing him personally, how many people like assumed he was doing it out of like some kind of malice or something? And I'm like, I assure you that he was just kind of being honest in that.
He didn't want 18 months of comments just being like, when are you gonna review the new Ghostbusters? When are you
Yeah.
gonna review it? When are you gonna review the new Ghostbusters? On every single
Uh,
fucking
we
thing he posted.
we joked about it on rental reviews because he reviewed the game Raid 2020 in 2020 because he made a joke about it like 10 years prior.
Yeah.
And then, like, for months after that episode came out, he apparently was still getting emails, people going, when are you going to review Raid 2020? And it's like, I did. It exists. But yeah. Yeah, some people get, like, very, very upset if you don't take a hard stance on a film.
Yeah, and that's why like
mm,
that very reasonable middle of the road, like I'm not gonna just write it off as bad because I don't like
mm,
what's going on with it. But I'm not gonna, because that's why I've come to really hate all of the
mm.
like drama YouTubers about
Yeah.
like Kathleen Kennedy's on the outs with Disney after fucking Dial of Destiny comes out. It's like, you've been spouting the same fucking story
Yeah.
for the last 5 years. Any day now she's gonna get fired. Any day
No.
now, like there's always money in the banana stand levels of coat posting, and it's just
Yeah.
like, and then they'll get up there and they'll be like, I watched fucking every episode of She-Hulk, and here's what happened in this episode and why it's bad. I watched
Mm.
every episode of the new Star Trek, and here's what happened and why it's bad. And
Yeah.
it's just like, stop fucking engaging with content that hates you. Stop.
Mm.
Like, just don't watch it. There are hundreds and hundreds of TV shows that are out there on the internet that you could just go watch that were made before they decided they hate you, and but at a time when they thought, what if we made something to be entertaining?
Yeah. You know what's funny? That character I used to do, Joker Fan 279, he was kind of ahead of the time. Like, he was a parody of angry comments that I was seeing online.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I did it as like a YouTube thing, but it's just like, wow, so much of YouTube literally became Joker Fan 279, who was a fucking joke character. And I'm like, wow, he really was. Like, there are literal people like him now who like take it seriously. I was parodying all that shit.
I mean, fucking like Doomcock is that character.
He even wears a mask and
even
shit,
wears
right?
the mask and everything, yeah. And yeah, it's so embarrassing. I'm so tired of this like us or them mentality. Like, it's just a fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking movie.
Mm.
Oh, you didn't like Cocaine Bear when you saw it in theaters? Okay.
No.
Oh, you loved Cocaine Bear when you saw it in theaters? Okay. Oh, you don't like how they portrayed Oppenheimer in the new movie? All right.
I'm gonna love Oppenheimer because it's based on a true story, Tab.
It is based on a true
story. And as I said, I support any movie based on a true story.
Yeah, and then like the people that want to go against it will autistically pick it apart and like nitpick about things. And it's like, yeah, it's called fucking dramatic license.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we all know that in the American Sniper movie, he had a real baby.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't need a fake baby.
Yeah, we all know that.
But they used a fake baby for a shot because it was easier.
Yeah,
like fucking settle down.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, I read when that happened. I don't even think I've actually seen American Sniper, but I've seen the baby scene just to see what people were talking about. I think they said they literally had a baby, but it got sick or like it just was crying. The baby was not able to be filmed.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, grab a doll. I guess we'll do our best.
And then they'll like, a lot of times in the biopics and based on a true story stuff, they'll kind of like hyphenate or rearrange events so that they can create like a plot where a plot didn't necessarily exist, like Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
Based on a true story, right?
I love it.
Yeah. Well, But the thing is, so the whole movie, like the whole point of the movie, is that they are underprivileged and they're treated differently because they're black and they're not from an ice country,
Mm,
and then they have to like they go the distance and then they earn the respect of the other bobsledders.
yeah.
Whereas in reality, the other teams were very excited to have them there, and they like
Mm,
even one of the teams gave them one of their practice sled so that they qualify and
mm,
like it was. But that movie doesn't have like a drama or a purpose to it if like everyone's just kind of loving and supporting, so they created this
yeah.
like specter of
Did they?
racism.
The one thing that I think was mean, even though I love the movie because it's based off a true story, I think they made it seem like someone sabotaged their bobsled when really it just like fell apart. Like,
Yeah.
I think even they were like, "Yeah, sure, it was sabotage." They're like, "Nah, our bobsled just broke."
And like that was a long enough time ago that nobody cares. Like it's
Yeah.
not nobody's picking a fight on on cool running forums.biz. Like, actually, they can't be beat. Jamaica has a bobsled team, sir. You can
Yeah.
get fucked. I for one feel the rhythm. Clearly, you do not. You also are lacking in the rhyme.
Oh man. Yeah. That's my complaint. Just people don't believe in true stories. If you don't believe in a movie based off a true story, you support whatever that movie is against.
That's true. That's a true story.
So if you don't believe in Cocaine Bear, you support bears doing cocaine and killing people.
Well, what's going to be funny is someday our life story is going to be a movie, and then they'll make this scene in the movie, and when they do, they'll look directly into the camera and they'll just be like, "If you don't believe that this is based on a true story, you're going straight to hell."
This whole conversation reminds me, I need to watch the Weird Al Yankovic true story movie that they put out because I'm sure it's 100% accurate.
Fuck Weird.
Huh?
I said fuck Weird Al to death.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
we're anti Weird Al.
Anti Weird Al.
What did Weird Al do to you?
He stood behind a stupid plastic wall and told me to wear a mask like a fucking faggot.
Fucking tab team. Why did I ask? Why did I fucking ask?
It's a true story, Tony. That's based on a true story.
He wanted you to dress like a cigarette from the UK. That's clearly what you meant, right?
No, he is a bundle of sticks, a very large bundle of sticks.
I mean, that joke wasn't funny.
Disavow.
I disavow. That's funny. Every time I do this show, I'm like, man, I really hope Tab doesn't whip out the F slur. And then I'm like, God damn it, he did it again.
It's my catchphrase.
Jesus Christ.
They're just words, man. They're just words. Fucking stop being such a namby-pamby bitch about words. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the general human population. If you don't like the words, fucking listen to a different podcast. Maybe something hosted by June Diane Shear would be more up your alley. You can listen to Paul Shear apologize for 45 minutes for saying a woman looked good in
oh yeah, that was so weird. That was so weird. Like his initial comment was weird, and then his apology was weird.
His initial comment was just like that lady was good looking. He's like, yeah, she was good looking. And then he had to make this whole fucking drawn out apology.
Well, I think he said like racy. And I'm like, I wouldn't have used that word. But
it's a compliment, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
I forgot to change the thing.
Oh, no.
Anyway, well, that brings us to the middle of our episode, which means it's time for...
This episode of Here's What I Don't Get is brought to you in part by...
Well, Tony...
Was that an ASMR version of the intro?
It was. Our first news story, I think it's from the Czech Republic. The Czech city of Pilsen are currently examining the circumstances around the death of a 40-year-old man who, I don't know why they put this word in there, tragically perished in a fire inside an electrical waste container on Podzahorskim Street in the morning of July 4th. Despite the
Okay.
efforts of firefighters to rescue him from the metal container, he could not be saved. Eyewitnesses reported hearing cries for help emanating from the burning container. The fire brigade said that we accessed the trapped individual using specialized equipment. Unfortunately, the doctor declared him deceased. There were clear indications of fire within the container. According to preliminary investigation, one hypothesis suggests that the man became trapped inside the container. It appears they may have unintentionally ignited the waste while attempting to illuminate the space using a lighter. This is literally a fucking cartoon character moment. This is like a Wile E. Coyote moment where he flicks on the lighter and he finds out he's in the box full of dynamite. And then he looks at the camera and holds up the little sign that's like, oh no. And then boom, just cut to a wide shot. That's why, like, why would you call it tragic? It could have.
I don't know.
I'm sure this guy got into the container to try and steal old cell phones to sell them, and then inadvertently set himself on fire. I don't know if that's tragic.
That's hilarious, really.
It's embarrassing for sure. Talk about, yeah. I got one here from Dad Cucks. I believe this one's from France. If this thing will load.
Okay.
And if this cat will stop crying.
Okay, that's yours. For a minute, I thought it was mine. I'm like, what is her deal?
A severed finger from a living human being was sent to the official residence of the French President Emmanuel Macron. On Monday, the amputated finger arrived at Elysee Palace in Paris, and though no note was included in the package, the outlets noticed the police at the palace reportedly placed the finger to a refrigerator immediately for preservation and attempts to identify the sender. France has been rocked with riots and protests stemming from a variety of issues. The finger was initially put in a fridge where police put their snacks. This was to make sure that it's preserved and can be analyzed as quickly as possible. Because, like, they're going to get hungry and then they'll be like, oh, that's right, I got to analyze that finger. It was later revealed that the finger came from a living person who had been identified, contacted, and received full medical support. The palace source said the identity of the person wasn't going to be revealed to the public, partly because of the medical confidentiality. It's not clear why this finger was sent to the president, but they're investigating. So someone gave the French president a literal finger, which I think is pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty messed up. I'm
really curious what sequence events happened, right? Like, someone's working in the garden, right? And like, you and me are working in the garden, and you've got the shovel, and you're like digging a big hole, and I'm like working on my hands and knees, and you inadvertently like cut off my finger with the shovel.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, let's send this to the president.
That's pretty hilarious.
Or
maybe they just wanted him to have it. It wasn't even a threat.
Or are you and I like hanging out one night getting really drunk and it's like, you know what? We should really give that fucking President Joe Biden the finger. Fuck that guy. And then one of us comes up with the crazy idea to cut one of our fingers off and we like rock, paper, scissors. Who gets to do it? The loser that cut off the finger and fucking throw it in the mail. Or the third option is that like you and I have beef. We get into some kind of altercation. One of us loses a finger, and the other one goes, you know who needs this? The fucking president. We slap that bitch in the mail.
Usually the finger, maybe I only know this from movies that aren't based on true stories. But usually mailing the finger is like for a ransom thing, right? To show that you have the person and you're serious. But they said they figured out whose finger it was like pretty quickly.
And then went and found the guy.
And found the guy.
Hey, did you mail a finger to the president? Who, me? No. I don't know.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
Got a news story here from Arizona. There's been a lot of stories in the news this year about people getting way too close to the bison in Yellowstone, trying to take photos and stuff and like messing with the babies. And one woman got what she fucking deserved when a bison in Yellowstone gored her in the chest. The 47-year-old woman was walking with another person through a field in front of the cabins on the North Shore when they came across two bison. After spotting the animals, the pair turned to walk away, but one of the bison, which can run 3 times faster than humans at a speed of 35 miles an hour, charged and gored the woman. She was visiting from Phoenix and suffered significant injuries to her chest and abdomen. She was airlifted to Idaho and via helicopter.
So they weren't fucking with the bison? They just saw them and then walked away?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we were just walking and saw some bison, and they fucking just rammed the shit out of us.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I've seen the other videos. I've seen the other videos where they're just way too close to those things.
Yeah.
Dude, I get nervous around deer. Like, we have a ton of deer here.
Yeah.
And usually they just run away. But, like, the one night I took a picture with one today, he didn't, like, move. Or she didn't move. And I was like, oh, fuck. I am 5 feet away from this deer. Hopefully it doesn't panic and attack me and hoof me. Like, I get nervous when deer don't run away, because 99% of the time they run away, I'm like, fuck, is this going to be the 1% where I find a deer that is not going to take shit?
Finally, the hard deer.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a shit from you.
Yeah. But, like, bisons are even bigger. I wouldn't fuck with those. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going very far away from the bison. Gonna go all the way over there.
Sorry for disturbing you, Mr. Bison. You have a
Like,
good
especially
day
a
now.
wild one. I'm like, that's going to leave that guy alone.
They're all wild ones, Tony. There are no domesticated bison.
Oh, they're not?
Boy,
I
do you
did
look like an idiot.
I don't know.
What are you, not a biologist? Come on.
You're telling me no one has a bison?
No, they can't be domesticated because they need too much land to roam.
Maybe.
I got one last news story here. A woman whose job it was to milk pigs for their semen says a crippling wrist injury she suffered on the job has left her unable to work.
Oh, no.
Maxine had a job she loved in animal welfare, which paid well, but unfortunately it caused long-term injuries. She started her job collecting pig semen for breeding top-quality pork at the age of 18, but by 21 it caused serious injuries in both of her wrists. 10 years later, she's still suffering ongoing pain. I enjoyed working at the farm. The actual semen collection stuff isn't all that exciting, she told the Daily Mail in Australia. The wrist injury was caused by having to hold the penis still as the pig moved around quite a lot.
Oh, yeah, the pigs, like, orgasm for, like, 30 minutes, don't they? They do it for a long time.
So this woman is like everyone's girlfriend, right? Where suddenly it's like, I'm too tired. I have a terrible injury from jerking off all these pigs. Also, like, wrist, come on. What do you fucking get your whole arm in there, bitch? Sounds like she's not good at it.
Okay, so a pig, actually, it's not 30 minutes. More realistically, it's 5 to 10 minutes, which I think is still pretty fucking long.
That's a long time. But yeah, that's our news stories, and this has been
the Gator News Network. Definitely not fake news.
And that takes care of our legal obligations this week. But you know what doesn't take care of, Tony?
What's that, Tab?
Buying more hamburgers. I need all the hamburgers. And for just $8 a day, for just $8 3 to 5 times a day, you can feed one host from Here's What I Don't Get, who is a fat bastard. Which one? Don't know.
Take your pick. Probably the one who talks about hamburgers a lot, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the fat one come Sunday when I've eaten 4 burgers a day for 7 days, and I'll be a glorious champion.
Yeah.
But you can help us support us over on subscribestar.com/HWIDG, tip.hwidg.com, and patreon.com/HWIDG, which stands for
Here's What I Don't Get,
which is the name of the show. And over there we have 5 tiers. We have the $1 tier, which gets you early access to each week's episode, and our mini-sodes. Got one with Buck that I need to edit and release this week. Probably do that tomorrow. We have our $2 tier where we throw the random bits and bobs we do now and again. We have our $5 tier where we drop the hate and talk about what's great. And our bonus episode, Here's What I Do Get. I've got a Joel one El Chaco one that I need to release this week also.
Okay.
And we have our $10 tier where you, the fan, submit a film. You vote what film we watch, and we record a feature-length commentary. And then finally, we have our $50 Spite Producer tier where you get a say in the show. We got a Spite Producer request in this week to ban that English voicemailer out of the Discord for 2 weeks, Boner Guy 69.
Oh.
And a voicemail ban for a month for trying to sell us out on WATP for our audio with Buck the other week, which I did not hear because I haven't listened to WATP in about a month.
I didn't finish the most recent episode, but the episode before that, someone left a voicemail saying that he should check out whatever that episode was. So I don't know if he actually did. I need to finish the last episode. I'm going to be I'll finish it tonight, and I'm actually recording something with him tomorrow morning, and I'll yell at him if you want.
Yeah, you should do that.
The last time I recorded with him, we did like a creep off bonus thing, and I literally, because it was after he reviewed Peg Warmers, and I literally started the episode going, "Hey Carl, have you shit on any of my friends this week?"
I'm doing a WATP next month. I was gonna do one next week, but it was like the one day that I actually have commitments.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I have all this free time in July. It's gonna be great. And he's like, what about July 26th? And I was like, oh, July 26th, I have 5 things I have to do all in that one day, and it's like everything for that week just got pushed into Wednesday the 26th. It's like, it's fine, I'll figure it out. So, bummer.
Ugh.
Anyway, well, let's get back to some issues, shall we?
Yes.
And here's what I don't get. The Film Actors Guild.
You're right. They need to pay those actors right now, Tab. I'm glad we agree on this.
Yeah. So the SAG-AFTRA went on strike this week or last week, or who fucking cares, man. And I'm not like, I don't side with management in any stretch of the imagination, but I'm really having a hard time trying to pick someone in this battle that I don't just absolutely hate 100%. So, like, the writers suck, the actors all suck. They're all like smug assholes that think they're so smart because they play pretend real good. And then you have the producers who have like absolutely no artistic vision and only care about bottom line, and so they fucking suck. And like, I kind of just want to put them all in a big like cage match, fight to the death.
Just let them fight.
Yeah, just
only one of you can get what you want, but you all need to fight.
They all fight to the death, and then like 30,000 people enter, one man leaves, and that person gets made Emperor of Hollywood, and we just fucking start fresh. My money's on Will Smith.
Oh, you think
shit out of Chris Rock,
slapping everyone? I will say I didn't look up everything, but if that AI thing is true, that's kind of fucked. They're like, hey, we want to be able to scan you and use you forever. I'm like, without your consent on what the role is, make you do whatever you want. I'd be like, okay, I kind of don't want people doing that at all.
Yeah, that I can agree with. The thing that I don't like is that they keep talking about how little they all get paid, and that the average SAG member makes $26,000 a year or less, which means that they are not qualified for SAG's health insurance policies.
Yeah.
And you have people like Mark Ruffalo out on the picket lines
with his like fake homeless clothes.
Yeah, in his like the worst clothes he could find.
Yeah.
To seem like a regular man. It's like, dude, you got paid millions of dollars for the Avengers. And the people low on the totem pole are like, this is good. Like the powerful fighting for us. Like I saw a bunch of old Disney Channel actresses were there. Like they're this is good. This they're fighting for us. I'm like, they're not. The thing about like those SAG contracts is that they only specify what the minimum is. They don't specify what the maximum. So when Robert Downey Jr. makes $50 million for one fucking Avengers movie, and everybody else in the cast makes considerably less, no one's like, well, we maybe need to readdress like pay scales within our own industry.
Yeah,
like Robert Downey Jr. could take $2 million less, and all of the extras could get paid like a couple $100 more a month. Or
here,
did you freeze?
No, it just said my camera turned off, but nothing happened. But okay, I'm back.
Yeah. So like, you could solve this problem inside your own little guild. Your little guild could take care of one another instead of holding everything hostage to try and get like what they're going to get is they're going to get like the bottom people will get a little bit of a nudge, just enough to be like, oh, that's great. But the top people will get this big nudge. And they hold all the voting power to go, yeah, this is a great deal for all of us. See, that AI thing isn't in there. Do you think like your random friend who moved to Hollywood and became like got their SAG card through some miracle? Do you think they're fucking scanning that part-time waitress to be in movies? No, they fucking want to scan Nicolas Cage and Robert. They want to fucking scan a Robert Downey Jr. so they can just put him in Marvel movies for the rest of time.
Yeah.
like that's who they want scans of. Sure, they'll take they could take scans of background extras to populate large scenes, but they already do that. The visual effects artists just scan themselves and put themselves in the movies. Fucking what was it? What was the one that did like The Fifth Element? That digital effects team, they put like little minis of themselves. They made all the car, like it's all filled with little fun gags for themselves.
I think it was the same thing with the GoldenEye video game.
Yeah,
they would scan people in the office, but I think they scanned like delivery guys.
Yeah,
who were just there. They're like, man, I hope they signed something.
And so it's disingenuous to say that like Hollywood is doing this when you work in an industry that is like the definition of inequality. And I'm not even one to say like Robert Downey Jr. doesn't need $50 million for an Avengers movie. Fucking, he made the agreement. The studio made the agreement. Yeah. He's a big draw. Whatever. That's fine by me. But then you go out there, you know, and you're like, we have it so bad. Our times are so hard. And it's like, you are you are only getting your picture taken because you're famous already.
Yeah.
You're actually punishing people who the $26,000 people. Mark Ruffalo could probably never work again ever.
Yeah.
And live a comfortable life. The fucking person making $26,000 a year as a SAG actor, getting a couple of background parts here and there, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Who's fucking taking care of them? And so you're stealing from them to use them as leverage, and then you go like, oh, if they go across the lines, then we'll never let you work again. It's just like, well, I could not go across the lines, or I could fucking feed myself for a day. And so, like this whole thing is, it really just feels like spectacle and distraction.
Yeah.
And
well, I do feel like some of the bigger celebrities, they probably feel like they need to be there just so they don't get shit on later. Like Mark Ruffalo, I think he's fine. I think he's fine with his residuals because he gets paid so much up front. But if he's not there, people will be like, well, he wasn't there. He didn't march with us. It's like, oh, fuck. Now we all got to go out and march or we'll all be bad guys. It'll be a whole thing. I think it's to stop like infighting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could give like I said, because it's also funny, like all these Hollywood celebrities espouse these Marxist ideals of like redistributing wealth and tax the rich and do all this shit. And it's like, well, look here in your own industry, you've got people that don't have enough money for health insurance. So what about instead the next time you get paid $20 million to do a movie where you act for 12 weeks and then you do some ADR? What if you took $10 million of that and put it into a fund to fund health insurance for everyone making less than $100,000 a year that's a SAG member? That would make a big difference. If everyone on those like big god tier productions were to do that and just keep it insular and solve the problem among your own ranks, because you actually like care about one another and it's a brotherhood.
Yeah.
But they don't actually fucking believe any of that. They don't believe in a brotherhood. There's like a prevalent narcissism of people that are in Hollywood. That's why people like Mark Ruffalo will get on Twitter and espouse political ideas about stuff that he clearly has no fucking understanding. No. The same way your dumb dipshit uncle espouses views on Facebook about things that he cannot possibly understand. The only difference is your uncle, hits your little family group and everybody goes, oh, Uncle Steve, that big dummy.
He's at it again.
Mark Ruffalo has hundreds of thousands of followers that are like, yes, the Hulk man thinks a thing. I must be right in thinking that thing too.
Yeah.
And you have this like cult of personality leading the stupid leading the stupider into decision making that's like irrelevant. You're an entertainer. Go fucking entertain.
No.
And that's another reason why I'm not rooting for anyone in this fight, because I hate them all. They all hate me. They all clearly don't want my viewership. And so I'm just like, oh, we're not going to get another Mission Impossible movie? What a bummer.
Look, man, if this goes on too long, I'm really worried that we just won't get another Awkwafina movie. And I don't know what I'm going to do, Tab.
If I don't get more.
It's the greatest actress of this or any generation, Tab. Aquafina. How do you not know the household name Aquafina? Have you not seen Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings?
I have not.
The whole MCU was leading up to that, Tab. It was
Yeah.
all leading up to that movie.
I pulled the ripcord on the MCU post Endgame, and I think that was the best decision I made in my media consumption in a long time.
Honestly, outside of like the Spider-Mans, yeah, you were smart. You were smart.
Yeah.
I do it for the show, but like I'm not as into it. And I was really into it, but
yeah, I was into it too. But
yeah, the very few things since then, like WandaVision was fun, Loki was fun.
WandaVision was a piece of crap.
It was fun. Maybe it's just because she was hot. I don't know. Maybe if I rewatch it, I won't be as into it. The Spider-Mans are still okay. Guardians 3 was okay. The Multiverse of Madness was fine until it turned into a commercial in the middle. Like the Illuminati where he's fighting like Professor X. That every single character is there to promote something on Disney Plus, so that took me right out of it. But yeah, everything else has been garbage. Shang-Chi sucked. Eternal sucked. Thor 4 sucked. So yeah, you were smart to jump off.
Yeah, it's just like they're these smug lecturing people, and I just like can't. I don't have as much of a problem. A lot of people they can't like separate the art from the artist.
Yeah,
and so when Arnold Schwarzenegger gets up there and just shits on all of us for not wanting to stay home,
Yeah.
and he's like, look at me, I'm staying home. And it's like, yeah, you live like in a 48/6
yeah,
acre
you have
estate,
like a motorcycle and like a miniature horse,
and you can ride around your property. You're telling people that live in 1-bedroom apartments to stay
that was
home.
a meme for a while. They're like, oh, why don't you just stay home? And it's like rich people's homes and it's a giant mansion. I'm like, yeah, I can see why you guys like staying home.
And so it's hard to like watch. Some people can't then they can't watch Terminator 2 and say that this is the greatest movie of all time ever, because and I don't have that problem as much. Like it does linger in the back of my mind, but I can often divorce those two things. But like actors they have such an overinflated sense of ego because they get praise for doing fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Like acting is something that literally everyone does constantly, and it's just like learning how to weaponize it. That's what like actual actors do, and they have this diluted sense that like that's what everyone wants to be. When I was in college and I had to take an acting classes, and I remember I did my first scene, for the semester, and one of the actors said what was supposed to be a compliment, but he was like, you were really great in that scene. I don't know why you don't just be an actor. And I turned and looked at him in the eye and I said, I don't want to be an actor. I don't like doing what you do. I like doing the technical theater.
Yeah.
I went into technical theater. I didn't fail at acting to become a technician.
No.
And I really don't like the I don't know. I don't remember what word I used. Like trope of the we all just want to be here and be just like you. We don't. We want to do our own thing. And I don't think we exchanged another word for the rest of the time we were in college together.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I have friends who are part of it. I hope they get what they want, but yeah, I feel like more. I do feel bad for, you're right. Like the smaller people, like they're seeing these bigger celebrities complaining about their residuals. It's like, yeah, but you guys get like like that girl, the one girl from Orange is the New Black is complaining because her residuals last month were like $26. It's like, well, that show's been off the air for a while. You weren't like a main character. Like your first season, they gave you a lot to do and you just kind of stuck around. But also I looked at her IMDb. I'm like, you're doing a ton of voice acting stuff. You're still in big things. You're in like the Spider-Verse movies. Like these guys are seeing you complain about your residuals and then they're going to cause a big fuss. And Hollywood's going to be like, oh, we're not hiring them because they like to complain. We're just going to make our big celebrities happy. And that's it.
Yeah. That's the other thing is like the complaint about the residuals. It's supposed to be, that's bonus money.
It's diminishing.
Yeah, you're not supposed to count on that for anything. You need to be pursuing new work.
Yeah.
I have once in my career, in all my contracts, it basically says that like my blah 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 design is my intellectual property, and if you want to reuse it, you have to pay me a secondary fee to be determined. And I had a show get restaged, and it was like, all right, we need to restage this. So like, what's the fee? And I was like, I don't know. So are you going to hire another lighting designer to do it? And they hired someone that I was friends with, and I was like, fucking $200. Just send me $200 and we'll call it good.
Okay.
And so the show got restaged. I got a little bit of money, much less than I would have if I had gone and designed it again. But someone that I knew got paid instead, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. But I also held the line. I never expect to make that $200. That was just like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, sweet. I'll pay off make an extra car payment this month.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
From this free money. And people aren't doing that.
I get like maybe because like the streaming is not as good as like network television residuals. Like I get it because more people watch stuff on streaming. So I'm not as well versed, but I assume the residuals should be better. And if they're not, maybe fix that. But yeah, I think they're like getting a lot of younger actors to be like, yeah, we should all make a shit ton of money in our residuals. Like, well, that's not the point of them.
Well, and also, like the streaming, they don't have to report numbers. You could always fight for residuals on network TV stuff because the Nielsen ratings were public. But Netflix, they don't publish what the actual watch numbers are. It's like an argument can be made that information needs to be public, but the studio doesn't want that because they don't want people like Doomcock to be like, see, Star Trek Picard only got 10,000 people to watch it.
Yeah.
And so, there's a finicky balance there. Yeah, it's like I said, I just hate everyone in this fight. I hope the strike lasts forever. I hope it lasts so long that all the actors and writers have to go find new jobs. And when they do, and they find that they can have a career that isn't, exploitative towards them, then the movie studios all go out of business. Hollywood completely collapses, and we like start fresh on making new content and actually make cinema again.
Well, look, in the meantime, there's plenty of independent cinema being made.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's plenty of Tubi is my favorite streaming platform because it just has anything. Yeah, check out some like actual indie films, not like an indie film that was made for like $1 bajillion because an actor was attached to it and then a major studio releases it.
A pile of money on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm fine with those movies. I'm fine with those. But there actually are like real independent films, and that's on streaming stuff. You can actually look all the people bitching about Hollywood tab. They can watch a non-Hollywood film if they want.
That's another thing that I found interesting is that they're telling you not to boycott the product. They're like, oh no, don't stop watching a movie. Like don't not see Barbie in theaters. Don't not like watch 14 hours of Netflix a day. You need to continue to consume the content.
Yeah.
We just also want to get paid more. It's like, I mean, really, if you want to really fuck those people over, be like, yeah, cancel your Netflix, cancel your Paramount Plus, cancel all those fucking things. Don't watch network television. Only watch the physical media you have, like you currently have. Torrent the shit out of it. Like, really drain their coffers until they have to come to the table to negotiate. But they don't want to they don't want the part where we stop engaging with it. And I think that's because as humans, we're all creatures of habit. We do the same thing over and over again. We just like fall into these ruts of doing that thing. And so they're worried that if we stop watching, Hollywood content for 6 weeks, 40 days to make or break a habit. If you just stop constantly consuming content, you started reading books for 40 days, they would basically, you'd never come back. Because like I've read hundreds of books that were great.
Yeah.
And I have seen maybe 100 truly great movies. And I've seen like a lot of like good ones, and I've seen a lot of mid ones, and I've seen a lot of just total shit.
Yeah.
And the books are that way too, but I guess.
Do you count audiobooks?
Does that count as audiobook?
Thank you.
Reading? Yeah.
People give me shit for that. It's like, well, I also want to walk through a park. Like, I don't want to like look at a thing.
I love them when I'm driving. Cross country driving. It's like you get to. I watch a movie in my head while I'm driving.
Yeah,
Great.
it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, I hope the right thing happens. But yeah, I feel like
the right thing, of course, being an asteroid striking the planet and killing off 2/3 of the human race.
No, the right thing is clearly more movies with Awkwafina. We're not going to get them if the strike happens.
Are you talking about product placement? Like, are they putting?
No, there's an actual actress called Awkwafina.
This actress, like Awkwafina, had to exist when she was born, right? It's been around for like 30 years.
Well, yeah, because what you call it? Well, she's like Chinese, so it's like her Chinese name is like Nora Loom. But she's known professionally as Awkwafina. And
sounds like a bad supervillain name.
Well, she's the greatest actress of this or any generation, Tab, and we just need more Awkwafina. So they gotta figure out that strike soon, or I'm gonna be very upset. I really need to see Shang-Chi too, Tab. I love Shang-Chi.
That makes one of us. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I'm not going to be reviewing any future superhero movie because I'm totally done with the genre. Although now it looks like so superhero movies are out, and I figured out what was coming in to replace it, and now I forgot what that was.
Might be video game movies.
Game movies. That's what
Mario did really well, and they have enough like failures to study from. Oh, and Sonic did really well. Both Sonics did real.
Yeah, Mario is being the biggest. I think that's probably the next wave of things we're going to see is a bunch of video game movies until they start to fail again.
You know what? I'm glad is a follow up on a previous. I don't get the geriatric hero clinging to his youth. I think that's finally done.
Yeah,
because like no one got like I thought the Flash was fine. It was whatever, but like Michael Keaton didn't get people in the seats for that. And
Harrison Ford with Dial of Destiny, that's not working.
Oh God, it was stupid. It was the worst. It was the worst one. There's only a few things that did well. They actually had Indiana Jones shoot and kill people with a gun, but not till like the very end. But I'm like, oh, okay, because you remember Crystal Skull? That was like when Lucas and Spielberg had their whole weird
anti-gun thing. That's
the heroes couldn't like do like direct violence really with like weapons.
Yeah.
This one they ignored that, but it wasn't enough to save the movie. It was it was bad. I got a whole review on it. It's awful. It's so bad. But I think that might be done. I think this might be the end of it.
Well, Bruce Willis is retired, so like we're really kind of out of action heroes to bring back.
No, dude, I got 2.5 episodes into Fubar, the Schwarzenegger show, and I gave up.
Yeah,
I gave up. Like we joked about it on my show. That feels like that show was written by like ChatGPT. Like the jokes are too obvious, and like all the characters are like. The first episode, it feels like they're reading like their character profiles, like stuff that's not meant to actually be said. It's like what you give the actor to let them know. It feels like they're doing that. Like it does feel like a robot wrote this fucking thing.
Militant startled.
Yeah, for Black Dynamite.
Yeah,
sarcastically, I'm in charge. Dude, I got 2.5 episodes. I'm like, I'll just watch True Lies again. This fucking sucks.
True Lies is a great movie.
No, did you know they made a TV show this year?
Of True Lies?
The guy from Shameless, one of the guys from Shameless was the Arnold role. It's one of those TV shows made out of an old movie. Sometimes they're good. This, it came and went. Like 2-3 months, it was done. Like I saw one picture of it before it came out, and before I knew it, the show had already gotten canceled.
Yeah, and the writers aren't getting any residuals from that because the show got canceled.
Oh, that's it. Okay,
unfair.
Okay, Disney, that is kind of fucky of Disney. Just be like, oh shit, they're going to strike. Don't put this movie and show that just came out, take it off. I'm like, all right, that's pretty nefarious.
It's pretty great. I love it. Yeah, we're not going to recoup enough money to make it worth like holding this on here, and it'll give you money if we do. So get fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the age of the elderly hero is done.
Yeah.
It can work in some cases, but in some cases it can't. And Lucasfilm has failed every single time.
Yeah, Lucasfilm. It's amazing what's happened with Lucasfilm.
It failed with the Star Wars characters. It failed with Indiana Jones and Willow, which they shouldn't have done.
Shouldn't have even fucking touched Willow.
Why did they try to do Willow wasn't that big when it came out. It wasn't sure it got a cult following, but no one was. I know two people who love Willow.
Yeah.
Love Willow. They didn't even bother to watch the show. That was such a waste of money.
Hey, Warwick Davis needed to get paid.
My favorite is we put women of color in it. I'm yeah, the one person I know who loves Willow is a woman of color. And that wasn't enough to get her to watch the show. She was like, nah, it looks really bad. I'm not watching that.
How embarrassing.
Well,
this has been Here's What I Don't Get. I'm Tad Burt.
I'm Tony from Active Movies.
Catch you guys next week. If you want to call in the Here's Get hotline, call us at 704-750-9434 and tell us what you don't get. Or you can visit us on Discord. We have a voicemail upload channel. We got a bunch of voicemails.
Nice.
Yeah, here's what I don't get. Why can't it just be easy? Just doing anything. I just got done doing my brakes, changing the rotors, changed the pads, and it was going smoothly. Did the fronts. It's been a while. It's very similar to an older car I had. Got the front brakes done. Rear brakes, always a fucking problem because you can't just compress the brake caliper cylinder. You have to fucking spin it and then apply pressure. So, of course, didn't have the tool, went out, bought it. Of course, the tool's slightly the wrong size. Modify it to make it fucking fit. All right, cool. Got it to fit. Did the one side. And then just the fucking last side of the rear brakes, and I'm done. Of course, tool brakes. Have to fucking jerry-rig something to get it, to work. Fucking one of the bolts gets slightly cross-threaded, of course. Fucking just why can't it be easy? It's never fucking easy. It's always a problem. And whoever designed these rear brakes on newer cars needs to fucking kill themselves. I do not like you, and I hope you burn in hell, and I hope your kids die a horrible, painful death.
Oh my God, disavow.
I hope you live long enough to want to kill yourself, but can never kill yourself.
Yes, that is my belief. I think that you can't to let someone just die is too easy. You need to live in total misery. Just total misery.
I just want to say to that caller, don't talk about people's kids. Don't talk about my kids.
I hate that every project like that, you go to home, you're doing a house project or you're working on your car, it always fucking balloons into this, that clip from Malcolm in the Middle where it starts out with the burnt out light bulb and then he's rebuilding the car.
Oh yeah.
So the lights out in the kitchen. What do you think I'm doing? Here's another one.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Sage. So here's what I don't get. Speaking of 4th of July on the newest episode, all these fucking faggots that are posting on Facebook and shit about it's 4th of July and stuff. I have, for some reason, my dogs are super afraid of fireworks. They are, whatever. We deal with it. We give them fucking stuff so that they calm down and fall asleep. So we do that every year. But my problem is I live in the city, and I am in an offshoot of the city, it's still attached to the city, and all these fucking faggot fucking crazy
God
Trump
damn it, Tab!
that fucking live out here.
I didn't leave the
specifically
voicemail.
Trump supporters that they have to let everyone know that they fucking support Trump. All of them fucking say oh, well, if you don't like it, then you need to move out of the sticks. And it's we don't live in the sticks, asshole. We live in a major fucking city. We live in one of the biggest cities in fucking America. Just because it's 15 minutes away does not mean that you're suddenly living in the country. Like, this is the backwoods. No. You are 3 minutes away from a convenience store, 4 minutes away from a real store, and then 10 minutes away from a massive fucking Walmart. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Anyway, that's it. Bye.
You realize that by reacting like that, you're just going to encourage people to figure out the timing and leave more voicemails like that when you're on the show.
God damn it. I didn't think about that. I will say, it is annoying. The people who complain about dogs with fireworks.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, what do you do? What do you do when it's a thunderstorm? Do you yell at God? Like, what the fuck? Like, they'll get over it. They'll get over it.
Hey, my dogs are trying to not be afraid here. They're out there in their front yard screaming into the sky like an idiot. Yeah.
It's
they're
like,
just
look.
Buzzkills that want to fuck around with.
Look, I know they're scared and they get frightened, but I guess when the sounds stop, like the next day, they're fine. They're fine. Like, relax. Again, a thunderstorm where someone beeps a car horn, like you just scream then. It's if anything, you should be happier on the 4th of July because you know when it's happening and you could prepare to like help them. And as opposed to a thunderstorm where you're like, oh fuck.
You're 3 o'clock in the morning, you had that big clap of thunder, and suddenly the dog is howling, and it's like, trying to fucking sleep.
Ugh.
Here we go.
Hey, Deb. I'd really like to know your logic on thinking that Jiffy Pop would not work on electric stovetop. Because seriously, it is heat, and it is conveyed through the metal to the kernels of corn. Why would an electric stovetop be any different than a gas range? Explain this to me. I don't understand. I understand thermodynamics, but I cannot understand your logic on why it would not work. Please enlighten me, sir.
You ever make Jiffy Pop, Tony?
No.
Yeah. You have to like cook it on top of the thing, and you keep it moving and all that. And I said that it doesn't work on electric stove, and I stand by that because I've never gotten it to work on an electric stove, and I think it's because the jet of fire comes out and goes up versus the like less direct ambient heat of an electric coil.
Okay.
And so you can like you don't have to have it directly on the burner. You can kind of keep it hovering in the air. Yeah. And you still get like the same amount of heat you would. Whereas on the electric thing, you really, when you stop being in contact with the coil, you lose that heat in relation to the inverse square law more quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my logic. Also, you can't use them on the glass stove tops, which a lot of electric ones are glass now.
Yeah.
With the like LEDs in there. My dad had a glass one that just like, it was just awful. It was the one that it was when he moved into the house. Like that's what was there. And
I'm back to just a regular gas stove now, but I've been using the glass.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went out with my friend today. They're buying new appliances. They got a gas stove with a griddle built into it, and I was like,
"Oh, that's
I
nice.
am so fucking jealous of this."
Yeah, I got another one. I think this is probably the best like name I could think of for it, but it's perfect timing in grocery stores, but it's like a negative perfect timing. And so basically, I'm sure Tab, you and whoever the guest is, they might, you go in the grocery store, you know exactly what you need. You have a list, you know exactly where it is, in, out, get the fuck out of there. And it's like perfect timing where it's like, all right, I'm going to go down this aisle. Oh, fucking perfect timing. There's somebody right in front of the fucking item I need. So there I come back to it, and sometimes you get lucky, sometimes it's like, oh, same thing, let me circle back. Fucking, it's just, perfect timing. You're right where I need to be. It's the last fucking thing I need. I gotta wait for you to get out of the way, or I gotta be like, I gotta be a human and interact with you, and fucking, hey, get out of the way. But then today, I go to, I got 5-gallon water jugs to fill up. So, check out, fucking pay for everything. Start walking towards the, it's like a little thing in the store, and who pulls in front of it but somebody with like 5-gallon water jugs. And it's just like, perfect timing. And guess who bought fucking ice cream? This retard. So, yeah. Perfect timing.
Go ahead.
I was at the store yesterday or the day before, and like this lady and her elderly mom were coming in. I'm like, oh, they probably let me get out of their way. So I moved my cart to let them through, and then they stood right where I needed to be to get my stuff. And I'm like, and I felt like a creep. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna circle back around. So I know exactly what he's talking about.
That happened with bags of ice when at beginning of the summer we were having a big cookout for the staff, and so I needed some ice to put in the coolers, and so I go check the ice machine. There's several bags of ice in there, like 3 or 4, and I was like, great, I only need 1. I go to the register, pay for the stuff I'm buying, buy a bag of ice, go over to the cabinet, all the ice is gone. Someone bought like the 3 bags at the same time I was checking out and left with them, and I was like, I didn't even go back because it's like, what am I going to get a refund for $2.99 or something? So I just like left iceless, like a peasant.
So that sucks. You froze.
I think you froze.
On my end, I'm moving. Now you're back.
I hate when you go to the grocery store, do you spend a lot of time standing around looking at the shelves, or do you like know where the things you're getting are and you just grab them?
Normally I know where things are. Lately, just because I moved back in this area and they built new grocery stores, so lately I've been like looking for things. But when I figure out the layout of a grocery store, I tend to go right to where I need.
Just like boom, peanut butter, bottom shelf right here.
Yep.
You know, bread. This like section is the Sara Lee one that I buy.
Yeah.
Like lunch meat. I'm right here at the Hillshire Farms. Like, but then I'll be like in the aisles of someone and they're looking like really expressly studying what their options are. Like they've never fucking bought groceries before in their life. Like, oh, I need flour. I'll buy the gold flour, the wheat one, the one that's kind of brown, the one that I've been buying for the last fucking 10 years. I buy the biggest one so that I don't have to buy this again. For months at a time or years at a time, whatever fucking interval of time I need. And you just there'll just be people just standing there, just like blocking the whole fucking aisle to like decide whether or not they need a basil that's this big or a basil that's like 2 inches bigger. Like, just get the biggest one.
Yeah.
All right, we got this. Might be our last one. Because I think the one here is from Boner Guy 69, who was just banned.
Oh,
hey, Daniel here. Here's what I don't get. So, bans on Instagram. I'm thinking about it, and when I called in, or when I was on your guys' episode on 270, whatever, 277, something like that, I mentioned my original Instagram, Sam_Cogwheel. And now, 6 months after I was on that episode, I was mocking some British person on how you pronounce caramel. And basically the whole thing was like, it's pronounced caramel, you bloody idiot. And I'm like, well, maybe if you Brits weren't so stuck up about how we pronounce stuff, maybe we could get along better. And that fucking piece of shit, beans on toast eating motherfucker reported my comment. Boom, a fucking account's gone. So I had to make another account. So I lost, pictures from 2014, my freshman year of high school that, thankfully I had backed up. But like at first, for the first week, I thought I just permanently lost them. And now I have my new account, which is just that and then _V2. Not to plug, but like, God damn, it's fucking annoying. Because like on Facebook, my grandpa gets banned, constantly. He gets 30-day bans off Facebook because, he says something mildly conservative, like Joe Biden is a dummy head. Like, okay, well, you're banned for 30 days, buddy. And I think it's the epitome of boomer versus millennial / Gen Z kind of culture, where you fucking get
banned permanently because millennials, you don't, the Gen Z millennial generation, they don't get fucking, God damn, what am I trying to say here? Give me a second.
That's a good question, buddy. What are you trying to say?
You don't get a second chance because the boomers are the ones that run everything, and they will fucking bitch if their account gets permanently deleted because that's all they fucking do. So you can still look at Facebook and see all your friends' posts and like them. You just can't comment for 30 days or post anything for 30 days.
And keeps you watching.
That's fucking bullshit.
So
if you're gonna fucking pull this goddamn bullshit because boomers will overthrow your fucking piece of shit app that nobody fucking cares about except for Marketplace, and then have the audacity to be like, oh, well, maybe you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bucko, and stop calling people faggots. Fuck you. All right, buddy?
Got another one!
Grow the fuck up. I don't... yeah, stay serious.
I'm super banned from Facebook. I tried to start a Facebook account a couple of years ago. I was working on this project, and the guy I was working with wanted me to be able to update some of the social media stuff we were doing. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I will literally, the only thing I'll have it set to do is work on your page. Yeah. And so I go in there and put in my email address and hit the sign up, and I instantly banned. Seconds. And I wasn't ever banned from Facebook. Yeah. I left Facebook of my own volition. Yeah. And I guess they really don't like that. They were like, can't have someone with willpower on this platform.
He's right. Facebook's pretty much only good for, I guess, staying in contact with family and Marketplace. I actually get a lot of shit off the Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I use Craigslist. I'm old school. I'm OG internet.
No, Marketplace is fun because sometimes it's like stuff that family members found and they don't know how much it's worth. They're just trying to get rid of it. So you can get some good shit.
Let's see. I think this is Boner Guy 69.
Hey guys, I do get.
It is Boner Guy 69.
Sorry, Boner Guy, you're out.
Yeah. That's it. That's our episode.
Well, thank you all for listening to this wonderful episode. I disavow everything that's been said. Yeah. Always a pleasure, Tav.
It is always a pleasure. I am the best. All right. We got to review some more 007 movies.
I know. I don't know why those episodes don't do better. I don't know why, but I want to finish the Brosnan movies for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.